All right, hello and welcome again, everyone. I'm your host, Ali, CEO of Knowde. Our goal with this series is to share the perspectives you need to navigate the changing digital landscape of our industry. We have another amazing guest with us today. I'm thrilled to welcome Dr. Stefan Girschik, CEO of Meraxis Group. Headquartered in Switzerland and with over 30 locations worldwide, Meraxis is one of the leading suppliers of polymer solutions. Meraxis has set global standards for digitization in the polymer value chain and passionately promotes a functioning circular economy. Stefan was appointed as Deputy Group CEO in 2014 and has been at the forefront of strategy, process innovation, and digital transformation since. Stefan, thanks so much for making the time. It's great to see you. Maybe before we jump into today's conversation, is there anything else you want to share about Meraxis or your background?
Okay, you already have mentioned, so Deputy CEO was my role at the Meraxis Group, a big polymer converter. And through a merger in 2019, I became CEO of Meraxis. So I changed a little bit the sides from a converter to a distributor. And I think my advantage is that I know the pain points and the value we can add to converters, but nothing else. So polymers are my passion since high school, and now since 28 years I'm in the industry and in the business.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody say that polymers was a passion of theirs since high school. That is fairly unique. I know that you're a chemical engineer with a PhD in economy, and you started your career out with the same organization, worked your way up all the way to the CEO, which is quite the climb. What made you kind of stick around in the industry and commit so hard to this organization?
First of all, I lived and worked in different countries. And it was not the same. So I worked in Switzerland, I worked in Russia, in Germany, and in France. So everything was different and more or less a different subsidiary and company. That's one thing. And the other thing is Meraxis is active in different industries, means automotive, construction, industrial solution, furniture solution. So it's not all about only polymers and one industry. So we have been engaged in different industries in different countries, and as time goes by, it was now 28 years, and these are also reasons. So it was never boring for me. So I'm still passionate, and that's the answer.
I want to really pick your brain about digital, especially in distribution, because we're seeing quite a number of trends happening at this point, and I want to talk about that for a little bit. The first one is we're seeing distributors increase investments in digital capabilities. I think it really started to shift about 3 or 4 years ago. Now, you guys are ahead of the times, and I'll get to that in a second. But it seems like the investments of the past around ERP and those sort of things are continuing, but then now folks are spending more time investing in customer-facing initiatives. I've noticed on your website, you guys really call this out, and I'll talk to that in a second. But is there certain places in digital that you find really exciting?
Yes, absolutely. So for me, I'm absolutely convinced that digitalization is a must for us. It's an opportunity, big opportunity. We at Meraxis see it as a differentiation factor because you know that the polymer industry is quite traditional till now. We see some changes, we see some competitors moving forward, but for us it means so we differentiate a little bit between how can we support our customer journey with regards to efficiency on the one side, and on the other side, how can we develop new business models in general, and So what does it mean? So efficiency, for example, we developed and started with a customer portal. So with a paper handling and all this stuff to digitize and to bring it into our system, to increase transparency, to decrease mistakes and things like that. And on the other side, the polymer industry is faced with sustainability, with new regulations, CO2 supply chain, and here we are developing new business models in this context. And yeah, finally, we are a medium-sized distributor globally. But for us, it's necessary to differentiate, and we see digitalization on the one side as such a factor, success factor, and on the other side, we see digitalization as an enabler for all our sustainability activities.
Yeah, based on what I know about reading about your organization and what's on your website, you've been leading digital for almost 10 years now. I mean, your website has something on it that I don't know of any other distributors have, which is an entire tab web page dedicated digitization. And you speak to digital services, customer portals, ordering 4.0. You know, you started terming these way before I think others have. You know, what prompted you to start this transformation journey so early?
It was my former role at Rehau as a polymer converter, because I personally was responsible for the digital journey there as well. And from this side, I know how important for converter such tools are when we think about smart production, when we think about smart supply chain, this ordering 4.0. And for me, it was and is pretty clear that the, let's say, traditional product portfolio, the traditional service portfolio, that's fine, but the times change. Everybody in private life does e-banking and Amazon and is aware of that, and it's a question of time when it will come and happen in our industry as well. And therefore, coming from the customer needs and knowing the customer needs, I was from the beginning on convinced that at Meraxis it's a must and it's a success factor for the future.
I'm going to go off script for a little while. What gives you the confidence that the time is now? You know, most people will cite the changing age demographic of your customers, how they've just gotten a lot younger.
When it's the right time, that's a good question. Yeah, I think, and I'm convinced that it's absolutely necessary and important to be a first mover in this context here. And the right time, to be honest, it's the way is not easy, because as I have mentioned, the industry is quite traditional. Most of our clients are still using traditional channels like email, like phone, like negotiating by phone, or even by documents, by letter, printed out and things like that. But nevertheless, we have, let's say, forerunners as customers as well, and we pick them out. And they are, let's say, finally our, let's say, guinea pigs in a positive way. That means we do together with these clients, we set up pilot projects. For example, what you have mentioned, this ordering 4.0, smart logistics, smart supply chain, vendor managed inventory, things like that. We provide the service, and we have customers on board, and the same was with our customer portal. So it was not that easy at the beginning to convince their buyers to use our customer portal, but in the meanwhile, they have learned, they have all the documents on the system in this portal. It's easy to handle, and it's a learning process, I would say. But I'm absolutely convinced that it's now that we have to start this learning process, because it costs, in my experience, at least 3 to 5 years here to get used to these advantages. And this is the reason I'm convinced the time is now. And once again, in private life, we see, and everybody is used to online services, and the same will happen in our industry.
It's inevitable. I agree. It's completely inevitable. You guys are certainly ahead of the curve when it comes to most folks in this industry. But what are some of the biggest opportunities you see from Meraxis when it comes to digital moving forward?
So maybe I can give you a brief overview how we organize it, because we have organized it. So from the beginning on, we established an own unit, digital and disruptive business. Young people, most of them are young people, it's clear. But I'm convinced you cannot do today, every day, everything in-house. That's not possible, because technology changes and yeah, it's moving forward. That means from the beginning on, we worked in networks, in ecosystems. Means we are working together with universities or with startups like yours, for example, and it depends on the project, but we built up quite a good network in the meantime. So this is one of our assets through this young team. This is how we organize it. So it's a very flexible and open, let's say, innovation approach, what we follow. That's one thing, and not doing everything in-house. Yeah. And as I have mentioned, we see the digitalization or first of all, enabler for sustainability. Polymers must deal with sustainability, finally, regulations, etc. And we see it as a differentiation factor for us with regard to our competitors, because first movers, as I have mentioned, will make the race. I'm absolutely convinced.
In times like these where there are more headwinds now than, we've all had to endure these headwinds for a couple of years. We've seen other distributors kind of pull back on their investments in these sort of core digital teams, like the one that you just described. Maybe they slow down investments, they slow down hiring, maybe they don't backfill hires, that sort of thing. How do you balance, short-term challenges with, these sort of long-term investments?
It's a very good question, because I'm now for years responsible for innovation and innovation management. It was all the time. Also with IT, by the way, it's the same question all the time. If you have headwind, what are you doing with your investments in technology and innovation? So in 23 was a bad year for the whole industry. That's also clear. And we have to look at the costs on the one side. And I like this ambidexterity. That means you have to do both. So you have to stick, let's say, to the short-term optimization. That's absolutely necessary, but you shouldn't lose the focus on the long-term investments, because this will be your success tomorrow or not. And it will be a boomerang if you don't do it. And what I see is under pressure, and with headwind, yeah, you have to look at the costs. We as well, we do. But this means maybe we change a little bit the time schedule or our project schedule. But in principle, our investments remain the same, also now in difficult times. And yeah, it's a challenge, but for me, it's absolutely a must that you stick on your innovation plans and also on the investments.
I appreciate you saying that and saying it with so much conviction. Obviously I have a biased opinion, but times like these come and go. I mean, I've only been in the industry for 15, 20 years or so, and I've seen at least 3 major sort of, headwind moments, and they usually last a couple of years, and then you move forward. So, it's just it's just part of the process, and we can't change strategy because of that. Lastly, any words of encouragement or messages that you want to relay to your employees, especially maybe those that are working on these digital initiatives?
I think for the employees, for our team, first of all, digitalization is not a threat. This is very important, not a threat. It's a let's say it's a combination to become smarter, combination between people and tools and technology. This is for me absolutely important, and everybody of our team, what we have said, should think about what he's doing in his private life, e-banking and all these things, and why should it be different within our daily business. So or in other words, I have read a statement: if you don't Uber yourself, you will get Kodak. And I think there's everything, because if we want to save our employees and save our future for Meraxis, digitalization is the basis, is a must, and it's not a threat. It's an opportunity for everybody of us. So please don't worry. So use the opportunity, and then we will be successful.
Yeah, I've never had somebody say it that directly. I can certainly see why some may see it as a threat, but it just opens up opportunities to go work on things that are more fun.
I can make it more concrete out of daily business. So when we implemented and developed the customer portal, and customer portal means all the tools, means transparency in prices, for example, quantities, etc. And this is a core competence of a trader, of a distributor. So and now it becomes transparent, and many of our traders have seen it as a threat, or the sales offices, they ask themselves, okay, are we needed in the future as well? Because of this, now we have a customer portal, the customer can deal with it directly, and what does it mean for our sales force? And I think there will be a change of tasks, but not, we will not, it's not, let's say, the people are necessary, and our team is necessary in the future as well. But what I have said is a smart combination between our people and technology, and so nobody should worry about that.
I appreciate how direct your communication is. Stefan, thank you for your insights. Folks love listening to these informal conversations with folks like you that are helping shape this industry. You took the transformation and digital pull a long time ago, and congrats for leading the way for quite some time. Thank you for everything that you do to move the industry forward, and I can't wait to see how you guys innovate in digital next.
It was my pleasure, Ali. Thank you very much to you as well.